Imagine a world connected by vibrant trade, powerful empires, and advanced civilizations, thriving for centuries. Then, in the span of merely 50 years, this entire interconnected system crumbles, plunging an entire region into a dark age. This is the story of the Late Bronze Age collapse, one of history's most perplexing mysteries. How could mighty kingdoms like the Hittites, Mycenaeans, and even parts of Egypt seemingly disappear overnight? Join us as we journey back over 3 millennia to uncover the dramatic end of an era, a cataclysm that reshaped the ancient world and continues to baffle historians. Picture the Late Bronze Age, roughly 1600 to 1200 BCE, as humanity's first truly globalized era. Across the eastern Mediterranean, a mosaic of formidable empires flourished. The mighty new kingdom of Egypt, the enigmatic Hittite Empire in Anatolia, the sophisticated Mycenaean kingdoms of Greece, and the vibrant kingdoms of Mesopotamia and the Levant. These were societies built on monumental architecture, advanced metallurgy, intricate bureaucracies, and a shared diplomatic language, Akkadian. Prosperity seemed endless, underpinned by a delicate balance of power and an expansive network of exchange. These empires weren't isolated. They were deeply interconnected through a vast maritime and overland trade network. Copper from Cyprus, tin from Afghanistan, and grain from Egypt flowed across the seas, fueling their economies and armies. Diplomatic ties were maintained through royal marriages and treaties, recorded on clay tablets like those found at Amarna. The great kings called each other brother, exchanging lavish gifts and forging alliances. This was a system of remarkable complexity and interdependence, a testament to early human ingenuity, yet also its greatest vulnerability. Beneath the surface of this glittering prosperity, cracks began to form. Archaeological evidence points to increasing internal strife within empires, evidenced by fortified palaces and a rise in local rebellions. Climate change played a significant role. Prolonged droughts are believed to have devastated harvests, leading to widespread famine and population displacement. Resource scarcity strained the delicate political balance, forcing populations to seek new lands and resources, escalating tensions between once allied powers. The foundations were weakening, even before the external threats fully materialized. Suddenly, from the horizons of the Mediterranean, emerged a mysterious and devastating force, the Sea Peoples. Described in Egyptian inscriptions as relentless invaders, they sailed in massive fleets, destroying coastal cities across the Levant and Anatolia. Their true origins remain one of history's greatest debates, perhaps migrants fleeing famine, displaced warriors, or even a confederation of diverse maritime raiders. Whatever their identity, their impact was undeniable, wiping out cities and disrupting trade routes with terrifying efficiency, acting as a crucial catalyst for the system's downfall. One of the first major dominoes to fall was Mycenaean Greece. Once magnificent palace cities like Mycenae, Tiryns, and Pylos, vibrant centers of culture and power, were systematically destroyed by fire. The intricate linear B script, used for administration, simply vanished. It wasn't just foreign invaders. Internal revolts, economic collapse, and even earthquakes likely contributed to their rapid downfall. The advanced civilization that inspired the tales of Homer entered a dark age that would last for centuries, its glory fading into myth. Simultaneously, the mighty Hittite Empire, a rival to Egypt for centuries, faced its own catastrophic end. Their capital, Hattusa, a city of monumental fortifications and rich archives, was abandoned and burned. While the Sea Peoples may have played a part in their coastal territories, the final blow likely came from internal unrest exacerbated by famine and attacks from northern groups. The last known Hittite king, Suppiluliuma II, vanished from the historical record, and with him, one of the ancient world's most enduring powers. Their advanced ironworking knowledge also disappeared, only to resurface later. The city-state of Ugarit, a crucial trading hub on the Syrian coast, provides one of the most poignant testaments to the collapse. In a series of desperate letters found in its archives, kings and officials plead for help against relentless attackers, lamenting famine and destruction. One letter, from the king of Ugarit to the king of Alatia, Cyprus, famously states, "My father, behold, the enemy's ships came here. My cities were burned, and they did evil things in my country." Soon after, Ugarit too was engulfed in flames, its sophisticated civilization vanishing beneath the rubble. While many empires fell, Egypt's new kingdom barely survived. Under Pharaoh Ramesses III, Egyptian forces famously repelled massive invasions by the Sea Peoples, recorded dramatically on the walls of Medinet Habu. However, this victory came at a tremendous cost. Egypt was severely weakened, its empire overseas lost, and its economy crippled. The following century saw a decline in pharaonic power, internal divisions, and a slow, gradual slide from its former glory. Egypt stood, but the world it had once dominated was irrevocably changed. The Bronze Age collapse wasn't a single event, but a complex, perfect storm of interconnected disasters. It was a systemic collapse. Long-term droughts led to agricultural failure and famine, sparking internal rebellions and mass migrations. Earthquakes may have destabilized cities and trade routes. Economic disruption from piracy and warfare broke the delicate web of exchange. The rise of iron technology, while not a cause, also contributed to decentralization, as iron was more readily available than bronze's constituent metals, making warfare more accessible to smaller groups. No single factor explains it. It was a cascading catastrophe. Out of the ashes of the Bronze Age, a new era slowly emerged, the Iron Age. The great centralized empires were replaced by smaller, more resilient city-states and decentralized societies. Iron, once a precious metal, became common, democratizing tool-making and weaponry. Literacy declined dramatically, and much knowledge was lost. Yet this period of immense hardship eventually led to innovation and new forms of social organization. The collapse was a brutal reset, paving the way for the Phoenicians, the early Greeks, and the later empires that would define the classical world. The swift and devastating end of the late Bronze Age stands as a chilling reminder of civilization's fragility. A highly sophisticated and interconnected world vanished almost entirely within decades, leaving behind ghost cities and unanswered questions. It teaches us that even the mightiest empires are vulnerable to a confluence of environmental, social, and political pressures. The lessons from this ancient collapse echo through time, prompting us to consider our own global interdependencies and the potential for a cascading failure. The mystery of how so much could be lost so quickly continues to captivate, a dramatic narrative whispered from the dust of forgotten empires.